Good morning. Today is Thursday, April 23rd, and we are going to continue our work today with summarizing. So on Monday, you watched a vocabulary video about summarizing and things to include, and you learned some great information about what goes into a summary. And then you were asked to complete the 5 W's, the who, what, when, where, why, about our article that we've been looking at in the National Geographic called Lessons in Lava. So I took a look at your who, what, when, where, why from the assignment that you submitted. And I just want to share mine because today I also want to talk about how we're going to use that information to start planning our summary. And so let's go over that. So I chose as my who, and I'm actually going to pull up yours as well. Brief pause. Sorry. I'm going to go to your work so we can kind of compare what we each did. So we're going to here pull up yours. Okay. So on your work for the who for our article, you had Ken Sims and Dario Tedesco, who yes are our scientists, and I wrote scientists who are exploring the volcano. So we both kind of pretty much the same information, just written differently. For the what, you said those volcanoes, eruptions causing a lot of damage. I also, because that is what's happening, that's why those scientists are going to study and climb into those volcanoes, is to kind of figure out when the next eruption is going to be. So that's a good what. For my what, I put the volcano and the lava lakes, and that just added a couple other things that they're camping. What are they doing? They're camping and climbing and exploring the volcanoes and studying samples. And then for the when, which was, you put the dates, which, you know what, actually was very smart. I put during the day, because that's when they were climbing in and studying those volcanoes. But I really, really like that you were specific with the dates of 1977 and 2002. So I think I'm going to add that to my when, because that was very smart of you. So we have 1977, and then it erupted again in 2002. So we know that this is a pretty active volcano, and that's why they're studying it. For the where, excellent, we both had the same answer of Goma, which is the city where this volcano is erupting. I also wrote the volcano's name, Nyiragongo, and then for where I also put inside the volcano. But so far we're pretty much on the same track, so you've been doing a really nice job with this. And then the why, you wrote because the volcano walls cracked open, which that means like the eruption. I put why they're doing all this is to study the samples they collected to find out when the next eruption is going to be. So I might to yours add some of that, the stuff that I wrote down. But overall, nice job, and we're pretty much on the same page. So for today, what I would like you to do is start taking a look at all the notes that you've taken on the pages, as far as what the main ideas were, what you felt were the most important details, what the topic was. And then if you have a highlighter, or you can underline it with a different color, just start underlining or highlighting some of the things, the very important details that you want to include in your summary. Remember, a summary is brief, so we're not going to include every single detail. So what I kind of did is, if you look for a few of them, I did for this one about the Nyiragongo, that volcano, I did highlight, all of those details. But you'll see for some of them, I didn't highlight anything. And then over here, a couple things that I felt were important about that this volcano has destroyed a city, and that scientists are worrying about it erupting, because then it goes back to my why are they doing this? Because to see if they can figure out when the next eruption is. So I felt that that information would be important to include in a summary. And then again, I also thought that it would be important to know that they're studying lava samples. And we had talked a little bit about that zero age lava sample, which is actually freshly hardened lava, which is what the sample that they really want. So I felt that that was important to include. And then the reason they're doing this, to see if they can determine when the next eruption will be. I also talked about them climbing into those volcanoes, and how dangerous it is, because I feel like that's important, because we're talking about what are these scientists doing. They're climbing into these volcanoes and camping on the ledge. So to let our reader know that this work is dangerous, but also important. And then for my last page, I thought that it would be important to let our reader know that the team is collecting samples from the volcano, and then that the best sample is that zero age. I think, yeah, so interesting. I had that information on 2 different Post-its. So I know that that information is going to be important. The author brought it up 2 times in this article. And then I put that, also, again, how dangerous this is. So that was kind of in 2 different parts too, that the author included, that they climb down slowly in a single file, and they have to wear a safety harness, and it stops when it gets dark because it's dangerous. And then again, like collecting those samples is dangerous climbing down, because there's steep sides. And I know you had mentioned too the bitter fumes and the hissing gas. So I thought that would be important to mention in our summary as well. So to recap, what I would like you to do today is just go through your notes. You can organize them how you want to. If you want to take the Post-it notes out and kind of put them in order on a page of how you might want to organize them in your summary, because part of writing a summary is organizing and making sure your information flows and makes sense to your reader. Or you can just do what I did and kind of highlight. So that's what I would like you to do today, is just go through your notes and kind of pick out the information that you would like to include, as we're not going to include everything. And then I'm going to show you how we use and those notes to organize a summary. So writing a summary isn't just quick reading something and then writing what you know or what you remember. There's a lot of steps. We read this, we reread, we did research before we even started talking about or reading this article. We broke the article apart into headings and took notes about the most important things. We went back and reviewed our notes. We are now taking a look. We did the who, what, when, where, why to get the big overall picture of the article. And now we're going to take those notes and start picking out what we want to use and organizing them into an outline. And then we'll write the final copy of our summary. So I just want to show you what I did, and I will also send this. I'm going to take a picture of this and attach it on Google Classroom so you can kind of see and use this as a guide as you begin to prepare. Excuse me. So all I did was talk about the overall main idea of the article. And I used my who, what, when, where, and why to start my main idea and the details that would support that overall big main idea. So I just wanted to show this to you. Don't worry about this for right now. We will come back at a later date and discuss this sometime next week. Next week, Tuesday, I will be back on with a video lesson for using our notes and our who, what, when, where, why to start organizing. But I just wanted to share this with you. So again, for today, just go through your notes, pick out, highlight, circle, underline, however you want to do it, the important things that you want to include in your summary. And then you can take a picture of it, send it to me on Google Classroom. You can send it to me email, however works best for you. look forward to hearing back from you.